Hi, I'm Jason Hill.
And I'm James Blackburn.
And I'm Danny Lenski.
Yeah, the ventriloquist act really worked well.
I'm so glad we rehearsed that.
Yeah, crash and burn.
And this is No Joke Survival.
Preparations for the average family.
And today's episode, we're going to be talking about bugging out.
Bugging out.
Not the insects, not the same thing.
No. And why that's so important. And, a lot of people have different visions of what bugging out is and running to the hills and things like that. But for our purposes, what this is being prepared in case something happens, natural disaster or crisis. And some examples would be like a fire, and recently in Colorado, they had some real bad wildfires where, they may be in one area, but then the winds change and then quickly they're evacuating people. And someone shows up at your house, law enforcement, and they're like, get out right now.
Yeah.
And you don't have the time to even think about what you're going to grab. And so having a bag that has some essential items in it, personal items, information, is critical because you may literally have just that one bag to grab and you might lose your home and everything else.
Well, and it's really very much a good idea, I guess you could say, to have that, because when the tornado had hit my house back in '95, we had always planned it, we prepared for it and whatnot, but the irony is that the time that we had the least amount of preparation time was the time that the tornado hit our house. And so we actually, unfortunately, got kind of caught with our pants down, dun dun. And so we ended up having to play catch up afterwards. I mean, we had water stored, in a very good place and in our house, so it made it through. So we had water, but we ended up having to get out of the house, what was left of it, ASAP. So we didn't even have clothes, with us, because all of our clothes were upstairs in our bedrooms or gone out of the garage that we had them stored in. So
Right. And Jason, I've seen your bug out bag, and if I ever have an emergency, I'm going to grab yours.
what's that?
Because you are prepared. Now, I have one too. It has my basics, first aid and different things, water filter, stuff like that you may need, obviously, in an emergency situation. But I'm really impressed by yours because I've seen it, and you could use yours to go out in the mountains and survive if you had to.
Oh, shucks.
Well, that's okay.
And I actually have different levels. So I have like a smaller one that I carry in my vehicle at all times with some basic survival stuff, a little bit of food, water, way to start fire, filter water. I'm kind of about repetition, having multiples, so that if I'm out at the grocery store and an earthquake hits and the roads are blocked for me to get home to my main bug out bag, I at least have a smaller bug out bag in my vehicle and I have something.
To hold you over.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and I keep the similar thing in my truck too, because obviously where we live, there's a lot of big spaces between towns, and if you're going off the beaten path like we do, well, your vehicle could get stuck, and you got that emergency bag with you. You could stay the night comfortably and signal for help or whatever you need. So.
Yep.
Well, and if you're thinking that you're invincible and you end up going out in weather that you might not be expecting, and all of a sudden you end up getting caught in a snowstorm or something, it's so much better to have just a little something there versus thinking, oh, well, I'm going to either stay in my car and freeze or try and make a little snow igloo or something, versus having just some blankets. I always have during the winter time, I always have a little bag of kitty litter and a shovel in my trunk.
Yep. That's common.
So
Yep. Very good idea, and especially, obviously it weights down the rear of the car, but also gives you that traction you need if you need to get out of the snow. Other reasons for a bug out bag, resources could be used up. You could have an emergency in your area like we did here 7 years ago when we got that massive snowstorm. And in 4 days of being cut off from the world, I saw the grocery stores empty.
Yep.
So it was good to have backup already ready to go.
Yeah, you run out of resources, you may need to go to a friend or a family member's place and hang out with them, and you want to be able to grab your important stuff and go.
well, and the stores might be empty because of social unrest as well, just something bigger, political that might be going on. As right now, government shutdown, can't go to parks or anything, but you know.
Bummer. But you know, when we come back, we're going to discuss in depth. We're going to go through the bug out bag and show you the actual items that you should have in there. It's gonna be
Come
nice.
back and see.
Can't wait. I
Yeah.
love bug out.
Welcome back to No Joke Survival.
Preparations for the average family.
I'm still Jason Hill,
And I'm still James Blackburn.
and today we are still talking about bug out bags and why it's important to have one. And again, just to recap, it's not necessarily for running to the hills or get, you know, that type of thing, but if there's an earthquake, a flood, a fire, something where all of a sudden you've got to literally leave your home immediately.
Yep.
You want to have some items that will help keep you and your family alive and safe. And so we're going to go through this bag and just talk about some of the items that are good to have in a bug out bag.
Yeah. And why do they call them bug out bags? Is there a reason for that?
Because you have such good stuff in here, you want to keep the bugs out.
All right. Well, that makes sense, I guess. So, all right. Well, what,
There
what
is
do we
food
got?
in here. In no particular order, but we have lights, because if you're traveling in the darkness, it sometimes helps to have a light source.
Well, especially on the headband version there too, because that, you know, hands-free operation, and you can travel around. And some of those have a variety of different lights on them, night vision and stuff like that, right? So I think you got it on upside
I
down.
do.
Yeah.
Okay, so much for that
He
idea.
knows how to use it.
I also have GPS, which is good for navigating. As long as you have batteries in it and they're good
Nice.
to go, it'll help you to get out of the area. Okay. There's so many pockets on this thing.
know, it's awesome, man.
I want to talk briefly about this too, and that this looks like just a regular camping backpack, and so you kind of want to look as inconspicuous as possible. Some people use these military backpacks, and
Right.
it kind of sends out a signal like, hey, maybe they got some really cool stuff in that bag. you
Right,
know,
where
they
this could be just, they may not even think about it because it looks like your average
Yeah.
backpacking gear.
might just have a sleeping bag in there.
Nice.
So I got some webbing, which is really good for tying things up or
Yep.
whatever. This here, these are wilderness survival cards, playing cards. So you can look up like disasters or first aid and
Nice. So you could be playing a game of poker and educating yourself at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice.
got a little tin here and basically got some fishing stuff in here. Hooks, weights, fishing line, razor blades, some extra batteries. There's all
Nice.
kinds of things you can.
Yeah, those little tins, I'm amazed how many little things you can store in there. I remember on another episode you were showing me the char cloth that you made in there as well.
Yep.
So a variety of uses.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Here, I'm going to give you that one while I.
Ooh, what's this, vodka?
No. Although that would make a great barter item.
Yeah, it would. I'm going to have some anyway, even if it's just water.
Duct tape. I love this stuff. It's got so many uses. And
Not
So-
just for ducks anymore.
that's right.
Yeah, so
So
that's
even
pretty awesome.
even for the weight, I like to have it because you can repair vehicles, repair.
Yeah,
all
I've
kinds of
actually
stuff.
repaired a radiator hose once or twice just to get home with
Nice.
duct tape. So it works. Not recommended, but it'll get you a few more miles if need be. So
Cool.
what else you got?
Binoculars.
Yes, love the binocs. Can you see?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see inside my head with that thing?
I don't want to. I can't see through the hair.
Yeah. Yes, the bird's nest.
But if you're traveling, that could be a good thing to have so that you can see your terrain or
Yeah.
look for things that might
Of course,
help you.
I never leave home without the binoculars because even in a non-emergency situation, they're just nice for viewing if you're outdoors
Sure.
and just traveling around.
Okay, so I have just a multitude of stuff. Here's some fire starting, cotton balls with Vaseline that we've had in a previous
Nice.
episode.
Love that stuff.
Got a signal mirror, some extra batteries, some more duct tape, some toilet paper.
Nice. Toilet paper. Can never go wrong with that. Now, what do you got here?
Just some prescription medication. you know, it's one of those things where if you had to leave your house literally in seconds, you might not remember to run to the bathroom, to the medicine cabinet,
Right.
grab your prescriptions, and go.
So if you have some in your bug out bag, you're ready to go already.
Have
nice.
some extras.
like
Extras
it
of
a lot.
everything. Fireproof matches,
Yes.
And a
Unless you're talking to Danny and then they're windproof.
windproof
Yes.
matches.
She's backstage listening to us. right now.
Yes, yes.
That's nice too. So this looks like an old cover for stereo, and
Yep.
you've reused it for water filtration.
Yep. So I have water purification tablets,
Nice.
and I have another water straw. And again, I have multiples of things, multiple ways to start a fire, multiple ways to purify water,
Very cool.
so that I have options. All right, what else do I got in here? Now, another thing is when people are watching this, there's a million ways to customize your bag. By no means is this set in stone or anything
Right.
like that. This is just to give people ideas and to get them thinking about what they would want in their particular bag. So I don't want anyone to think that, oh, you have to have these items.
Yes. Canned meat. Can't go wrong with canned meat because it's
Food.
in a can. And
So-
it stays good for a long time. Ooh, chili mac. Nice one too.
Yep.
What else you got in there?
It's a good question. You can talk about that.
This is a floppy hat with air holes for breathing your head in, because your head needs air too, I guess, right?
Block the sun.
And block the sun. Yes, that's the main thing.
Get out into a hot situation, sunburn can really mess with your health.
Yep.
More food items,
Yep. Can't
So,
go wrong with the energy bars.
bars. That's a little processed meat military product.
Nice.
Which are yummy and delicious.
Yes, I'm sure they are.
And,
They have processed donuts too.
oh, I wish,
Or
right?
dehydrated donuts. That'd be awesome. Man, you really are prepared. I thought my bug out bag was good, but yours is a little better.
So what I got here, yeah, thanks. And go ahead and grab the orange piece out of there. This is a little micro stove. We featured this on another episode, and it just screws onto the top of this.
So this is the same one as the other thing. It just folds down like that, huh?
Yeah,
All right, very cool.
and so you just pop that on there, and you have a heat source, and you can put your canteen cup on there, and you can boil some water.
Nice.
And you got some
Another nice
spoons,
option there.
honey, because honey lasts forever,
Yep.
and it's a nice little sugar pick-me-up, or you can improve your food with it.
Honey goes good on everything.
Salt and pepper.
Sweet. Yeah, people don't think about that. Just a little bit of seasoning can go a long way when you're out in the mountains, whether it's a survival moment or not. You know, it's nice to have something that tastes a little bit better.
Yep. Now, I think it's time for our beginner's box. We didn't even get through all the items that you could have in a bug out bag. Well, let's bring Danny in because she's got some important ones.
I think she's backstage.
It's such a small box because you have such a giant bag. So I thought, I'm just not going to bother with a box. So we're going to run out of room here. But I have a couple items here, and I thought I saw that. Just kind of to touch on this again. I mean, you want to have your prescription medications because the last thing you want to do is run out the door and think, oh no, I wish I had, and then it might be burned down in your house by the time you remember. Another important item that you might not think about until you need it is a can opener. And this is, the most basic of the basic kind of can openers there is out there. If you don't know how to use it, you should educate yourself before you need to use it.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. Don't wait till the emergency arises.
Exactly. And this one here is, as we had talked about in a previous episode, I believe, is here, this one in particular is an all-weather notebook. But in here, you have all of your contact information for those people that you would want to contact, or in the sense of a phone tree, which I believe we'll talk about. You can contact your folks, and they can contact other people for you if necessary.
Phone numbers, addresses. And the nice thing about that is if it does get wet, you don't lose the information. whereas
Exactly.
A regular notebook
So the
would
pages
disintegrate.
last through water?
Oh, yeah.
They
Stuff?
would.
Nice, very
They would.
cool.
See the tic-tac-toe game in there from earlier. This, is a USB, but I'm gonna give that
Yeah,
to you.
this represents anything that's important to you documentation-wise. This could be your birth certificates, marriage certificates, stocks, bonds,
Right.
the deed to your house, shot records, kids' information, military documents, DD-214, anything that you wouldn't be able to
Retrieve. Yeah,
replace.
can't get this
And
Right.
If
giant
your
box.
files got burned in a fire, you know, if you had a copy of all that on a little flash drive right here, then when you're bugging out,
Yep, you
You're
got
good
it
to
all
go.
with you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
and
You
then
don't have
it'll-
to give yourself a hernia trying to carry the giant box of files. So
And you won't be declared legally dead because you can't prove who you are.
yeah.
So,
And the point is that you won't, in a real crisis, you seriously may not have any time to grab that important stuff. But just having a backup of it, scan it, put it on here, and then leave it in your bug out bag somewhere in one of the pockets. And you always have a backup.
Yeah.
It's all about the backups.
yeah.
sweet.
And finally, I just, as I was heading in, some spare keys, just in case you can get back home and in your rush to run out, you end up leaving your house keys or whatever. If you have to bug out and you grab only your one set of car keys and then you accidentally lock it in, and when you're in a situation like that, the last thing you want to do is try and find a locksmith and try and find a replacement to all your
Yeah.
keys. So replacements to your keys.
Yeah, and you're right. And in a lot of emergency situations are not permanent. They might be a temporary thing where you have to leave and come back later. So extra everything like that is always a good plan.
Yep. And so when we come back, we're going to talk about a few more of these items and then get into our contest. And that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it will be.
But we still have a number of things that we could talk about. So just customize the bag to you, but make sure you have something as a backup.
I always said, like you said, taco.
Lunchtime.
Talk
Tacos
about
in
taco.
there?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Here.
Dehydrated
Here's some
tacos.
spam.
Oh,
Nice.
All right, guys, come on, let's go. Good job, buddy.
Yes, hurry! Get in the car!
That's good enough, that's good enough.
Welcome back to No Joke Survival.
Preparations for the average family.
She's Danny Lenski.
he's James Blackburn.
And that there is Jason Hill.
Yay!
Good intros. That was
I
awesome.
almost
High
went.
five.
I almost went back this way, and then I thought, well, we can't just do this and leave you out. That would just be mean. We'll do a circle. Anyway,
But another great little video just represents, having those bags, having them ready to go to where if you had to jump in your car and split, you know where they're at, and
You're
it's
just
just easy
ready.
breezy. You don't have to think about
And
it.
I also noticed in that video that they had a couple of totes that they grabbed in the garage that were packed and ready to go as well. So they're right by the vehicle. They just put them in the back and they were able to get out the door in a
Yep,
very
food,
short time.
Water,
Yep.
blankets, that kind of stuff can already be prepared in those plastic bins.
Nice. Yeah, that was really cool. I'm glad that we got an example of getting out of the door pretty quickly. So,
Yep.
so what else do we have here?
Oh, there's just so many items. Here I have just a bunch of first aid stuff. So you have sunblock, I have contacts, so I have some contact and solution, first aid, some soap. Another thing that's pretty important I like to have is a tarp, because you can make a shelter. You can also wrap it around you to stay warm.
Yep.
But
I like that color. That's the "look at me, I'm here" color. Save
well,
me
and
if
there's also a
necessary.
reflective one. So if you're trying to, call for help, or if you're trying to gather the, rays of the sun
Right.
for warmth, and that's good to have. And
That
this is a waterproof jacket, and having clothing is really important, I think, because even if it's summertime, your bag should have cold weather gear in it, because you don't know. You may go 3 or 4 months without having a crisis, and that crisis may hit, and you forgot all about this bag.
Yep.
And then again,
Also-
I have to leave and it's snowing
It's
outside.
30 degrees and all I packed were shorts.
So I've got a down jacket.
Nice one too.
And
Soft.
And here's my waterproof pants, so I'm completely protected from the elements. I've got some cold weather gloves and a cold weather hat.
Yep, there you go.
No, thanks. No, I have a cold weather hat.
You got some nice space at the top
Yeah,
there.
I have a small head.
Along with that, I got some thermal underwear, polypropylene. These work really well as a base layer.
Yep.
So, so you can throw
I
those
felt left
on
out.
and
Y'all have hats.
stay warm. And some wool socks. And this is a Shemagh, but so many neat things you can do with this as far as wrapping around your neck or your head.
Yep.
If it's windy out, keep you warm and
And it makes
You
a
said it,
very
and this
nice-
was called what?
a Shemagh.
A schmog?
Nice.
Us ladies
Schmog.
would call it a shawl.
That's if I'm pronouncing
A
it right.
schmog?
It's a nice
might-
fashion accessory, plus it serves a purpose, right?
Yes, it does.
Very cool.
I like the color. It's very
I like it
nice.
a lot,
Where
too.
where do you get something like this?
As long as the internet's up and running, you can get them online.
As long as you get it before bugging
And
you.
that's probably the most popular place. They may have them at some sports stores as well.
You know, and seeing as my eyes kind of drift over back to our prescription medicine
Good stuff,
again,
yes.
something as well that I don't have any allergens, you know, thank goodness for it, but there are bracelets, there are necklaces, you know, and whatnot that show allergens. If you have something like that, that would be amazing to make sure that you have in your bag, because the last thing that you want to do if somebody comes upon you passed out and they think, oh, let me give you this, you know, shot of whatever, turns out that you're allergic to, would be no bueno.
Yeah.
To wake up dead, essentially.
Yeah, I hate waking up dead.
Me
That's,
too. Last time I
Not
did
fun.
it gave me a bad headache.
Call that a hangover.
there was another item. These are kind of more specific. These are repelling gloves, but having a good set of work gloves, because if you're out foraging and you're collecting sticks for your fire,
Yep.
or having to move anything, your hands can get tore up pretty quick. So having a good set of leather gloves, sturdy gloves, and a carabiner never hurts.
Yep.
Lots of
variety
uses.
uses on those
Yep.
things as well.
You can kind of extend the size of your pack by starting to drape things outside of it.
Okay.
Not so much to where as you're walking you end up getting caught on something, but this is, man,
So-
it never quite packs as tightly the second time
Right.
around, but
But our contest is
we-
bug out.
oh no! Dun, dun. Very little warning on that.
There's no warning when it comes
The warning
to
is the end of the episode is
survival
nigh.
situation.
I'm taking this here lantern with me.
But realistically, as they're still going to continue to bug out, it is definitely worth mentioning, as we've been saying throughout the episode, this is for fun, but you don't want to try and grab all of your stuff right before you run. So that is it for this week's episode. If you want to find out more about us, join us on Facebook at facebook.com/nojokesurvival. You can also visit us on our website at nojokesurvival.com. There you can find links to our videos on YouTube. You can rewatch the entertainment that ensues. And if you have any questions, you can ask us the questions on Facebook. Find out more information that we have on the different products that we've shown you here. And I think we're ready to go.
this.
But oh, what'd you?
I'm taking the spam with me.
Well, I'll take this.
No, I'm good. This is really important to have.
Come back next time.
And some of these other ones right here, we have things falling on the ground. Oh, I think I may have wet myself a little bit.
If you're up on a mountain, you may want to go down into a valley, you know, or observe the area. Some lime.
Oh my God, what is that? What is that, dude? I think
Probably a Sasquatch. They're all over the place.
this is important. You don't want to wipe your backside with something that might be poisonous.
what you want to do is literally just sit down and listen.
I kind of blew my way through there pretty badly. There was a lot of outtakes. It's back, dude! It's back! Ah! Where is it? There it goes!
That's awesome. You never know what you're gonna find in the wild. Love it. Or some sort of area where you're gonna find people and be rescued.
Oh man, that hurts! And now for a blooper.
I literally got cancer in my pants. While I was talking, I could feel it crawling down my butt crack.